The combat sports world is absolutely buzzing as Paddy Pimblett weighs in on the bizarre promotional feud between UFC boss Dana White and boxing promoter Dana-Hearn. Pimblett did not hold back, calling the public back and forth between these two heavyweights of the industry very teenage girlish. As these executives continue to trade barbs and tease a potential fight, fans are left wondering if this madness will ever end or if they will eventually bury the hatchet.
Looking for a fast-charging, ultra-responsive stylus for your iPad? Meet the 2X Fast Charge Active Stylus Pen, designed for 2018 to 2025 Apple iPads. Take your creativity and productivity to the next level. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
Speaking of major headlines, Dana White has finally dropped a 3-word update on the highly anticipated return of Conor McGregor. As the superstar prepares for a potential comeback at UFC 329 this July, the hype is reaching a fever pitch, with the promotion confirming things are looking good for the Irishman. Whether it is a welterweight showdown or a massive spectacle in Las Vegas, all eyes are locked on the octagon to see when the Notorious will officially step back into the cage. The atmosphere is set for a historic night at the White House for UFC Freedom 250, as Dana White confirms a rare and special addition to the card. Country music star Zac Brown has been tapped to perform the national anthem, marking a rare departure from the promotion's usual routine for this monumental celebration. With a massive title fight between Ilia Topuria and Justin Gaethje topping the bill, this event is shaping up to be one of the most unique spectacles in the history of mixed martial arts. Paddy Pimblett is still making waves with his sharp commentary, pointing out that if Dana White and Dana-Hearn actually fought, their paychecks would dwarf those of the professional athletes on their own rosters. It is a wild perspective on a situation that shows no signs of slowing down anytime soon in the fight game. If you want to keep up with all these developing stories, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell to never miss an update. Ever imagine two of the most powerful men in combat sports stepping into the ring to settle a petty grudge? Well, you aren't the only one, but Paddy Pimblett thinks the whole thing is just plain ridiculous. Welcome back to the show. Today, we're breaking down the ongoing, bizarre soap opera between UFC boss Dana White and boxing promoter Dana-Hearn, a feud that's gone from professional rivalry to what Paddy calls very teenage girlish. It's been a chaotic dance. White fired the first shot by poaching Hearn's fighter, Conor Ben, and Hearn didn't take that lying down, effectively countering by snagging a management deal with UFC heavyweight King Tom Aspinall. Now, the rumors of a potential boxing match between the two are swirling, with Hearn claiming it would rake in 1 million pay-per-view buys. Paddy, fresh off watching his friend Molly McCann compete, couldn't help but laugh at the irony of it all. As he told IFL TV, while the idea of them fighting is madness and hilarious, it's ultimately not happening. But here is the kicker that really stings. Paddy pointed out that if they ever did step into the ring, they'd likely walk away with $30 million each, more money than the actual fighters on their rosters are making. It's a bitter pill to swallow, reminding us exactly how the power dynamics in this business actually work. Dana, for his part, has brushed off the talk, calling Hearn a bum and dismissing the entire narrative. And while Paddy jokingly admits he'd back his boss to spark him out, he knows the reality is that this is just two industry titans trading verbal blows for clout. So, what do you think? Is this just marketing theater to keep their names in the headlines, or is there a genuine, ego-driven animosity brewing behind the scenes? Drop your take in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to keep up with all the latest headlines from the world of MMA. After all, if the promoters are acting like this, you know the fight game is never going to get boring. Stay tuned. Is the king of trash talk finally making his long-awaited comeback? The MMA world has been holding its breath for years, but Dana White just dropped a massive hint that could change everything. When asked about Conor McGregor's return, the UFC boss kept it brief but incredibly optimistic, telling reporters, "It's looking good." It's the kind of short, punchy update that fans have been desperate to hear after a roller coaster of delays, broken bones, and false starts. We are looking at a potential date of July 11th for UFC 329, right around the time McGregor turns 38. Now, let's be real. McGregor's career has been anything but a straight line. From his historic double champ run to that chaotic crossover fight with Floyd Mayweather and his brutal leg injury against Dustin Poirier back in 2021, the man has lived a dozen lifetimes in the cage. He's been sidelined by misfortune and legal battles, but his name alone still moves the needle like nobody else in the sport. Rumor has it we're looking at a return to the welterweight division, but the big question remains: who is brave enough to step into the octagon against the notorious one? While he's missed out on the June fight card at the White House, the July target feels like a high-stakes birthday bash at the T-Mobile Arena. It's hard to ignore the controversies that have shadowed him lately, but when the cage door closes, the business of fighting takes center stage. Is this really the swan song of a legend, or just another chapter in one of the wildest stories in sports history? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Conor still has that championship fire, or is this fight strictly for the legacy? Hit that subscribe button for more updates, and remember, in the fight game, believe it when you see the gloves touch. Picture this: the pristine lawn of the White House transformed into an octagon, the weight of history hanging in the air, and a spectacle unlike anything the sport has ever seen. UFC Freedom 250 is shaping up to be a fever dream of a fight card, and Dana White is pulling out all the stops to make sure this isn't just another night of scraps. For years, White has famously shunned the pre-fight national anthem, arguing that the UFC is a global entity and that drawn-out ceremonies kill the momentum of the broadcast. He has always preferred to let the fighters do the talking. But when you are celebrating America's 250th anniversary on the president's own birthday, you break the rules. White confirmed to Entertainment Tonight that the hiatus is officially over, and the man tasked with breaking that tradition is none other than country music superstar Zac Brown. It is a massive nod to the patriotic theme of the night, and if that were not enough, Brown and his band will be pulling double duty, headlining a full concert at the Ellipse right across from the White House. This event is a signal of the UFC's massive cultural shift, moving from a niche combat sport to a global entertainment juggernaut that can command the attention of the highest office in the land. And the fights? They are just as monumental, with Ilia Topuria and Justin Gaethje clashing for the lightweight crown, while Alex Pereira and Cyril gain battle for interim heavyweight gold. It is a high-stakes, high-visibility gamble that blends the raw intensity of MMA with the pageantry of a national celebration. So, what do you think? Should the anthem become a permanent fixture for big-time UFC events, or is Dana right to keep the focus strictly on the cage? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more updates on this historic card. In a sport that evolves by the second, one thing is certain: come June 14, the world will be watching. Ever wonder what happens when two of the biggest egos in combat sports start throwing haymakers at each other? Well, Paddy Pimblett has been watching the ongoing circus between Dana White and Dana-Hearn, and let's just say he isn't exactly impressed. It's the kind of high-stakes, low-drama feud that's become hard to ignore, and Paddy finally decided to call it like he sees it. Standing right in the heart of the action at a recent Matchroom boxing event in Liverpool, Paddy didn't hold back, calling the public bickering between the UFC boss and the boxing promoter absolutely teenage girlish. It's a bold take from someone who works directly under one of these guys, but that's classic Paddy for you. He admitted the whole ordeal is pretty hilarious, even noting that despite the constant jabs and talk of a hypothetical fight, they'll probably move past it like a couple of schoolyard rivals. But let's get into the real meat of the argument: the money. Paddy hit the nail right on the head when he pointed out the absolute absurdity of it all. If these two ever actually stepped into the ring, they'd likely pull in $30 million each, a payday that completely dwarfs what the actual world-class athletes on their rosters are taking home. It's the ultimate irony of the fight business, isn't it? The promoters cashing out while the guys doing the heavy lifting keep waiting for their big break. While Dana is out here calling Hearn a bum, and Hearn is bragging about selling 1 million pay-per-views, the tension between these two is clearly rooted in some genuine cutthroat business moves, like poaching talent across their respective organizations. So, who wins in a scrap? Paddy's sticking with his boss, Dana, though he admits the whole thing is just madness that'll never actually happen. What do you think? Is this just harmless banter or a genuine clash of titans that's getting a little too petty? Hit that subscribe button and drop your thoughts in the comments below. After all, it's not every day you see the promoters acting more dramatic than the fighters themselves.